Okay, dropping down to a 30-minute chart. Same mindset here. We're adding any details that we're noticing. Okay, and we're here. We have Monday's trading and the anticipated rally up. Once we see those types of things, we know that this is the setup, so we want to be a seller up here, but where are we going to be reaching for? What's the draw on price? So you want to have that before the trade really starts to unfold. As it's setting up, you want to get a screen capture, but at that time, you also want to outline what you're reaching for and what was the context behind why you would expect it to occur. We have an old low here. We got 20 and 10 pip grades of swing that would be expected to go below it. And here, just for the sake of keeping the chart neat, I'm just referencing 10 pips below that low. And on Monday, because I don't like to trade on Monday, I would like to use that Monday range and project it like the PO3 study that was used that I taught you in the Asian session and or PO3. And I would take that Monday range. If I'm bearish looking for that run, I'm going to take that range of Monday and apply it right on top of its daily high. And that gives me a projected range of 1 standard deviation. And we take that out in the future. It's approximately what Tuesday's high of the day is. So I know that I'm looking for a Judas swing, so how far will it go up? Well, it could go this far, which would take us right above that old high at 129.10, where it touched 3 times, and that's where the buy stops will be residing. So we're looking for a move above that, so it could be a seller right there. But before we do that, we have to remember, if this is in fact a bearish week, and this is the weekly high forming, this Judas swing is useful, and we can apply PO3 concepts to it. We can get the range of the Judas swing and apply it in 1 standard deviation below the low. In other words, I'm taking this range and adding it, or in this case, subtracting it from this low and projecting it down, giving me 1 standard deviation. So we're seeing PO3, which is accumulation, accumulate more, manipulation, run the stops, put them in buy side. We're going to see hopefully a move down with PO3 with distribution and a final area distribution down here. So we have 3 measurements of the actual Judas swing projected down, and that gives us just below that old low. So that validates this potential stop run while price was like this only. We don't have anything else happening yet. So we have PO3 scaled out, accumulation, manipulation, and distribution framed before the move even occurs. You can see that 10 pips below this low is what we're looking for. So 10 pips below that, we're going to have a little level there. And now we see Wednesday's trading. And during the New York setup, we have a optimal trade entry form, and we can run projections on the fib. We can see there's a 400 extension overlapping exactly with one of the levels we've already arrived at. And then here's Wednesday, gives an optimal trade entry, short-term swing here, trades back up, optimal trade entry, short, sells off aggressively, and reaches down into our 10 pip sweep below the old low. And we're going to get a measurement from the highest body to the lowest body in these 2 price swings. And that projection down gives us exactly a 300 extension right there. And it actually gives you the low of the day, which actually overlaps with the approximate 10 pips swing below the old low. So we have several things being used here that I've given you in the recent teachings. Every one of these screen captures, you would write down any notation that would be necessary for you to have as a benefit. And that way, when you go to the end of the week, usually on Saturday morning for me, may not be Saturday for you, but I like to take about 30 minutes and go through the market and see what I didn't see and note that. But every day, I'm writing down what my expectations are, what the daily high and low should be, and then I'm recording what actually happened. And it builds a lot of confidence seeing how many times I'm right. And when I'm wrong, Even though I learned something from the time I was not accurate, it proves that I'm more right than I'm wrong. So therefore, I don't fear being wrong. And I use the times when I'm wrong to learn what it is I did wrong. So I'm taking no pain out of the experience. I'm looking at it as, okay, this is actually like a workout. Okay, I'm strengthening myself. I'm putting stress on my body with the attempt to make it stronger. Okay, so I don't look at adversities in trading as a defeat. I look at it as exercise and strengthening. Iron sharpens iron. So we can see how using the tools here, we get one more instance of this could be the very weekly low. Okay, if we trade through it, so be it. But if this is all I would ever get, that's fine, because this would be power 3 applied to the weekly range. Okay, and I apply that on the weekly Sunday opening vertical line if you hit Control Y, and I use the thickest trend line to draw right over the top of that, and then I delete the actual Control Y line. And I draw out a little horizontal tick representing the open, and then I forecast where I think the close is going to be. And it doesn't have to be where it's actually going to close. I like to do that just to keep myself, entertained and trying to dial in as best I can for where I project the close. Sometimes I'm really accurate, and other times I'm not so accurate. But I'm more inclined to focus on what, if I'm bearish, what the high is going to be and how far of a reasonable objective, how low it can go. And if it keeps going lower, who cares? Long and short of it is I want to have an opportunity to get some kind of range of expansion. And on Wednesday, we can also see that there was no return back to that opening price on Sunday once it moved away from it on the New York session setup. We accelerated away from it. So there's a lot of things that took place in the dollar CAD this week that we have outlined before. They are hallmarks to the things I've taught you. And we did in fact run those equal highs out, as I mentioned in the higher time frame scenario and conditions video for this Forexmas set of videos for 2017. So hopefully you've enjoyed this presentation. If you'd like to find more, you can visit my website at theinnercircletrader.com.